Welcome back to Part 4 of Hunting the Hunters, Chapter 6 of a Thora Silentblade tale. With quiet all around them and the frenzy of battle finally subsided, Thora and the others slowly made their way down the tunnel in front of them. This one seemed different, with multiple steel doors built into the mine walls. Small slats seemed to be installed at about Thora's eye level, inset into the frame, and only opened from the inside. Sneaking up to the steel door, the dwarf took a closer look and noticed that there was no handle that could be used to open the barrier from this side. How strange. Zera came up next to Thora and knocked on the door, yielding not much but the echo against the mine walls. Further down the hall there stood another similar door, upon which Allendale attempted the same, only to hear a strange response of squealing and flapping about from behind that one. It was Dwayne who finally broke the silence.
"Sheriff Dean sent us to save you. Come out,"
shouted the turtle, not holding anything back in terms of volume. Any gnolls left in the mines would surely be arriving shortly. Shortly after, a voice responded, asking them who they were.
"If you're gnolls, you have to tell us,"
stated the voice, with the drawl common to the folks living in these parts. Hoping to earn their trust, Thora switched to the guttural tones of the dwarven language, heavily tinged with the St-Cyr mountain accent. Not all dwarves spoke the same dialect, and for some the common tongue had crept into most everyday use, but the soldier was fairly certain that gnolls would have a hard time getting the pronunciation correct.
"Unhundarok,"
stated Thora simply, explaining to the voice on the other side of the door that they were not gnolls. At the sound of their ancestral language being spoken, the door slid aside, revealing a group of dwarves in a well-provisioned bunker. The survival shelter seemed to have additional bracing to protect the miners, in the case of a cave-in, and also featured small bored tunnels to the surface to deliver fresh air, as well as ample provisions. The dwarves could hide out here for quite a while as they waited for rescue.
"Not rightly sure where the others may be," explained one of their hosts. "Plan was to sneak away and hide in these them bunkers until, well, we hadn't gone to that part yet."
It was a solid plan. The bunkers should have been safe for a few days, meaning that for the time being the pressure was off. If all had gone according to the miners' plan, the other dwarves should now be safe in their bunkers, awaiting word of rescue. Thora felt lightheaded, and by the looks of their blood-soaked set of armor, there was good reason. The dwarf had been awake now for over 36 hours and was exhausted. Everything hurt. Settling down on a nearby chair, surrounded by dwarves and allies and friends, the warrior didn't even have time to pull out a ball of yarn before the fatigue set in fully. Eyes closing, a snore softly rumbled into Thora's beard. It was time to surrender to sleep.